What we got here? So, alright, we built another. That's fine. I'll have to start putting some spells on him and kind of like getting him all geared up. Put a masterwork armor, which we're starting to run low on those, but I'm only gonna have like 3 warriors, I think, and I don't know. I don't remember if you can actually remove the perk or not. Like once it's slapped on something, it might just be stuck on that something. So it's a notion to keep in mind. Now I don't want to get him any closer, so sentry, and I'm gonna wait here. I forgot to check the buildings on this one. What have we got? So market, Elven Bungalow, which they're building. It looks like he had several like, yeah, money generators. After we actually fill in like magic testing area, which is quite good. Like that's 5 mana. They're trading 5 gold for 2 other resources. So, and this is kind of what I was talking about. Like after a while, like research doesn't even matter because you get stuff like this. It gives you 5 for free. It's kind of silly. But after that, let's double check the elf stuff. Now there are 2 elf buildings or 2 elf units that I like to get. The knights, and I also like their little sky carvils, because they do interesting stuff. They're flying, but they're constructs, and you don't see that. Like they're one of like 3 units in the game that are that way. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, so actually thinking about it, these are the dark elves. And see, like, if you look here, so Shadow class, Eclipse class, it's kind of a hint that they might be moon worshippers. So they're kind of in conflict with us because, you know, we worship, like, not so much the sun, but, you know, we don't exactly worship Lunord. So maybe we'll do something like have these guys build moon shrines and maybe push towards that. I don't know. I have to check the wheel, see where Lenore lies. If he's like completely antagonist to us, it doesn't make sense. But we'll see. You kind of only can go after 1 or 2 deities, and they tend to be ones that are kind of next to each other on the wheel. Otherwise, like you kind of have this conflict of interest, and you won't be able to advance really far down the tree of one particular deity if you're forcing it back the other direction. And you'll see more of that as we start to build shrines. Let's see here. So I'm interested in, where is it? I think it's up here. Yeah. Oh, the chamber of, is it spears? No, not spears. Chamber of blades. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to go for. If the city grows big enough, and I might want to actually sap in some mills and granaries just to help it out. But if it grows big enough, then we'd also go for possibly the Sky Carvils. Or the Warlocks are actually pretty good too, because you know they're basically the equivalent of mages, but they had some interesting kind of good debuff spells. Like they have one, it's like a Bane or whatever, and it's like a minus 20 to elemental resistance. They're decent. Sky Gilans are nice because you know it's siege, it does a ton of damage, but it's easier to move it around than a catapult because it can fly around. I don't know though, since we do have catapults in the mix, it might not be something we really have to push for. Although these buildings are nice too. I mean, 50% mana, yes please, you know. And even the whole science stuff, it's all pretty decent. So it's something we'll think about. Like elves are kind of interesting. They focus a lot on mana and research for the most part. Yet I don't know if that's like research is something you're going to be scrambling for. So yeah, we'll probably build this next just to get more advanced spells getting research. But well, let's go ahead and proceed. Oh dear. I think he's gone. Oh well. What is pulling it? Interesting. They got a little wolf pulling their cart. You'd think that'd be like an orc thing, not an elf thing, but whatever, you know. It just because Tolkien said that orcs ride wolves doesn't mean that has to be the case for everything and everybody. I'm gonna disband. I know it's kind of sad. We spent all this time walking him over, but unless it's just no, we didn't want to. We literally, if we could build, if these annoying animals weren't here, it'd be fine. But I'm gonna disband because I don't want these guys to just kill it and then get free experience. So, oh well. If we're cautious with this one, I think we'll get it through. We're still at war with these annoying jerks. I wonder... Is there any way to, like, talk to him, or... Start negotiations. So we can make peace. But it's not letting me demand gold and stuff. Why is that? I can't quite remember. Like, see, it's showing that this offer is balanced in his favor. Oh, maybe no. He has some mana and stuff. I demand your mana. Okay, that's strange. I forget how you Oh well. We'll wait until he gets sick of fighting me and he just decides to give me a decent offer. Because honestly, I'm kicking his butt and I demand satisfaction for the terrible crimes against my people. They killed a settler. They're gonna pay. And badly. So, let's see. Let's continue this whole idea of weakening her. I'm tempted to throw another fireball. And that's the nice thing about fireball. If you get a big, nasty creature like this, you can kind of start burning her down, and it's fairly cheap. Mana cost. You don't want to spam it, but it's good for... Oh, dang it. I need to put weakness on her, too. It's definitely worth debuffing. But slowly but surely, we're wearing her down. And you'll get a lot of treasure when she gets killed. Like a lot, actually. So that'll be nice. It'll help us get closer to that obnoxious demand that the witch is making for us. We literally saved her from being in prison till the end of time. And her thanks for that is, oh yeah, we want you to give me 1,000 gold, jerks. Like, why can't I just, like, I don't know, say, no, we rescued you. We're not giving you gold to help us out. You owe us. But whatever. If you pay, like, if you go down this path, you end up paying, like, gold and stuff, but it's kind of nice in a way because you'll end up getting more spells unlocked as you go along. So it's worth doing. And see, now I can still stay like 4 away, but nail her with a spell. Pretty handy. I hope I don't crit her because I want the Rat Prince to actually get the kill. So he starts to level up a bit. But see, now she's helpless. Ah, you jerk. I like the gnome settlers. Like if you zoom in enough. They got a donkey pulling it, but look at that donkey. It's like a crazy reptilian donkey, and I don't know, it's funny. The other thing is the gnomes from like the last game were, I think in the lore, like here, if you click on it, basically they were like the mortal enemies of the goblins, and it's implied that the goblins enslaved them and forced them to be like their builders and go out and like build them cities. So, kind of a fun little piece of lore. Literally the only like gnome unit in the game is the settler. So, I wish my settler could fight their settler to the death, but try to determine who shall rule this land. if he builds a city, that's gonna be obnoxious. We're gonna have to march something over here and smack him around.
And ready.
What are we doing? Okay. Everyone's frozen in place. Lovely. Now, I think for now, let's move him over here. I'm tempted to almost, well, we'll keep this unit around just as a base defense, but I'm tempted to kind of like move away from archer or hunters and focus instead on building up some elven archers instead, you know, and not waste all of the resources on the other things. So unit has no task.
Yes, my lord.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have no task. Since he's kind of late to the party, I'm gonna get him kind of like gearing up to go after the Dramer. So moving right along, Of course, jackasses. Oh well. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, he's gone. That's okay, I guess. Not like the worst outcome. Like it would have been bad to lose the priest, but and that's just kind of like I was overreaching a little bit. Okay, so he's gonna do just enough damage to finish her off. Let's see what we get. I kind of like her death animation too. It's creepy but cool. Oh, sorry, I was confusing myself. No, you get the treasure when you loot her castle, and you don't get anything when you kill her, except experience, and you get a good amount of it. So, hooray for that. All right, you can move up here and start blasting away at these things. Hopefully, that used up his movement. Can you reach it? Nope.
Someone in need?
She can do it, I think. Or actually, yeah, finish off. I don't need any more. I don't need any bonus bears. Awesome. So the map's slow but surely getting cleared out. Ooh, Viper Hall. So we got Viper Hall and Snake Gate. Ugh, they beat me to it. Freaking jerks. I'm tempted to capture the city and not convert it immediately. They built it in the swamp? That's stupid. I wonder why they did that. Because anything standing on there, I think, takes the hit from the swamp. Anyway, I'm tempted to, like, conquer that and actually get, like, a monster settler out of it. Because monsters have some good units. I don't know, I'm on the fence about it, but... Oh, what I'm thinking about, let's pull up the tree here. So... Yeah, you see how Lenord is far away from Agrila? Essentially, if we built temples to Lenord, what would happen is it would pull us from being like strong sympathy to Agrila to kind of like over here. It would actually like make us stronger with Grumgog, which I don't really want to do that. Grumgog is okay, but he's not like the ideal day. Like honestly, these two are like the ones you really want to pay attention to. So at least in the place I'm doing, where I'm building up large cities. However, if you want to do something a little bit different, gosh, honestly, you sort of pick your deities based on what your main faction is. So good human factions tend to be like between Chrome and Agrila. So like Helia, for instance, is quite good for human. Basically, it's good for human because you get Sun Archers, which make up for... Humans don't have very strong archers on their own, so... You know, getting a good missile unit for human is kind of a little bit of priority. And if you can unlock some Sun Archers, they are quite... Sorry for the thump there. They're quite good. Now, as monsters, Fervis is good. Honestly, the monsters are kind of like these four. So... And then, like, with elves, it's almost like Fervis to Agrila are solid choices. And Svarts, you kind of want like that. Crypta's really good for only one group, and that group is the undead. Well, actually, let me show you some of the spells just while we're talking about it. Let's see. So like Crypta is all about like, let's go to the beginning, just to kind of show off, like give you an idea of what things do what stuff. So Sun God, it's like some elemental damage, but also like bonuses to food growth. A gorilla is all about food and healing. So if you want big cities, the gorilla is a good one to go for. Now, mixed match with Grumgog. You get some summon stuff that's decent, but you also get like if you go forward, like Vapors. She's kind of like an aggressive deity, but it's less about building up your people and more like taking down other people. So they're good for like the monsters, for instance. Fervus is like the deity of almost like a druidic thing, like Beast of the Wild, I guess. And so like you do get some decent buffs with Fervus. You also get some good summons. So it's good for elves because elves don't have until endgame good melee units, and so summon bears, stuff like that helps out if you're playing elf. This deity, I can't remember her name, but literally almost nothing but summoning undead and just doing like dark magic. Chrome is kind of an odd one. I almost think of it like it's like the dwarven deity almost. So, good at warfare, but also, like, good at protecting troops. So, there's one really good combination of spells, actually, if we go forward. Fist of Chrome. See that how it says Shatter Frozen Enemy Unit? If you have a spell, like, if we go, like, Ice Ring that freezes units and team that out with Fist of Chrome, that's why I said it's kind of a dwarf thing. You think dwarves, right? You think warfare, you think toughness, but you also think kind of icy, cold, like up in the mountains. So, that combination, like you can have like your dwarf, like, well, I call them dwarves, but the Svarts basically. Like you can have them have all these like ice spells and team them up with Fist of Chrome, and just it almost it's like an insta kill. It's quite good. Lunord is kind of like this elven day. I don't know. It's a mixed match. There's some decent stuff, but anyway. That's kind of a good little introduction. You see like Rune of Wrath and stuff. Like runes, you think the Svarts because they have a bunch of like rune witches and things. So, I definitely want to play like another playthrough at some point. It might not come for quite a while, but I'd like to do like an undead one actually, because I think like the undead are kind of cool in this, so they're fun. And then like see like Dalros is sort of white magic and all that. So, and this one's kind of handy. You can resurrect. Anyway, that kind of gives you a little rundown. Like this one's really good actually. It seems silly, but basically it means like if you have any kind of good enchantments, you can spell lock it, and your dude can never lose those enchantments. So it's quite handy, especially on heroes late game, because disenchanting like an expensive enchant, and it can actually be a real problem. So I really do like spell lock, and we'll try to get that one. This one's intense, but see, it just focuses on undead. So Summon Bearman's really good for Fervus. Like all the gods, like honestly, the most powerful spells are going to be these. So, Shield of Dalros is kind of cool. Some like probably the strongest spell in the game is a deity spell, and it's let me find it. All right, I'm back, and I sorry for the hard cut there. I just kind of like was going around trying to remember which one. I think it was either Chaos Mind, but then I saw Time Stop, and look at that. Allows the caster to take another turn immediately after ending the current one. That is pretty crazy, and that's a Lunar spell. Like Lunar is, if I had to classify him in terms of Magic the Gathering, he's like the blue, color. He has like all these kind of sort of utility like spells and that kind of deal. So he's an interesting little god. He's quite actually. When we do play the expansion, he's a good one for Naga because he gets a spell that can turn land to water. And Naga being aquatic, really dig that. So, what's it? This is one of the more powerful ones actually, because it inflicts 60 death magic in a wide hex. That's quite good. I think it was Chaos Mind though. Yeah, it like essentially what this does is it's fairly cheap. It does take it's 200 turns or whatever, but it's the most powerful immobilization in the game. Gosh, I don't remember. Like I remember someone told me like one of these is like ridiculously good, and I'll have to look it up, figure it out. But yeah, the end god spells are quite good. Wrath of Chrome is excellent. That's the one. Yeah, look at that. Increases the attack strength of all units of the target faction, and it increases them massively. So casting one Wrath of Chrome, yeah, it's 340 mana, but once you cast it, it's like every unit you own is better, and I believe it's a blessing. So it's just automatically on your civilization permanently, so long as you have enough mana to feed it. Ridiculous. That's so strong. And if you want to play as a warrior, if you really want to go after conquering people, get Wrath of Chrome. yeah. That was what I was thinking of. It's like, hey, let's give every single guy we own, let's just make him twice as good. So it's like doubling the size of your army. Sunstorm is okay too. I mean, it does. I think that's the highest damage spell in the game. I might be wrong. I wonder how it compares to Armageddon. Yeah, Armageddon only does 30, but it is kind of a it does 30, but it does it in a radius, so it's still quite good. Interesting thing, Armageddon. It's not like the name of an event. It's like the name of a town mentioned in the Bible that got wiped out. So sometimes people confuse Armageddon with the apocalypse, and the apocalypse is the thing at the end of the world where everything gets wiped out and rebuilt in like the vision of Jesus or whatever. But Armageddon is just basically, it was a town in the Bible that I believe the Israelites conquered, and then they killed everybody there. So that's where the word Armageddon comes from. Yeah. By the way, I'm just kind of fascinated with, when I was a kid, I was raised Episcopalian, and so I ended up reading a lot of the Bible because, our preacher was like, he kind of focused more on stuff that adults would be interested in hearing about and not kids. So I would read, the more violent parts of the Bible, and oh my gosh, some of it is just kind of crazy. It's like, and they try to justify it as this is good. This is what a good and righteous people should do. How about the time when not Samuel? What? Oh goodness, I'm trying to remember. Was it the dude with the hair? No, not the dude. If he cut his hair off. Not Samson. It was it starts with an S, but yeah, the guy who found the jawbone of a donkey and just started slaughtering people with it. The whole setup to that is he literally, because of a personal grudge, catches a whole bunch of foxes, ties bundles of burning like twigs to their legs or to their tail and unleashes the terrified foxes into the farming fields of the entire city and burns down the Philistines, I think. He burns down all the crops of the Philistines, so the Philistines have a massive famine. Why was he doing this? Because he lost a bet because his wife accidentally revealed the answer to a riddle. And he was mad at her because she was a Philistine. Good Lord! Like, how is this guy the good guy in this story? He sounds like a horrible person. I don't know. Like, it's just, you have to remember the Bible was written down over hundreds of years, and they had very different ideas for what was righteous back then. And I see it more as a parable for living your life than the literal truth. And if we take it as a literal truth, then it's kind of a terrifying truth. It's kind of something that, I don't know. Let's see. So we're working on blessings of life. That's good. Yeah, a lot of talk about gods and goddesses, just because, that's the game we're playing right now.